edition against Wrestling Report. Myself, Father Ryan. I'm your host, Jamie. On this edition of the IWR, we're going to do our 2012 TNA Slammiversary review. Just getting off the air with the pay-per-view. Couple things here and there, really good. About three-fourths. Did we say three-fourths? Is that too much? Or
three-fourths of the show?
Is that too much? Is it like
probably
like
not.
6/8?
6/8 of the show was probably not that good.
Was not that good.
Well, not probably. It was
not that good. Yeah, but we're gonna run down the card for you. First up, we had Hulk Hogan come out, say a bunch of stuff, TNA, 10 years, whatever, and announce that the first match was going to be Austin Aries and Samoa Joe. Originally, it was not going to be for the title, and then he made it for the X Division Championship. We had champion Austin Aries going up against Samoa Joe.
Yeah, the crowd was hot as balls for this. Great match here. You know, going into this, we were going to say numerous things about this crowd, how they acted like they had not seen a wrestling show ever. They marked out for everything. And definitely for this, the crowd was really hot for this match. They really enjoyed it. Joe and Aries did a great job here, building a good story here. They're really building this story up with Aries, where he keeps conquering, you know, bigger and better goals and going on and doing this and doing that, and you know, getting the clean win here on Joe, and it's just a spectacle of the things that these guys can do. Great job together with the chemistry. You know, all these guys that me and him talk about all the time that come from Ring of Honor, that work that kind of style together, just know how to go out there and just kind of just captivate the crowd. And you know, no matter if they're out there for 8 minutes or they're out there for 18 to 40 minutes, they can go out there and do these kind of things and really keep the crowd going. And this was a great opener here for what we thought was going to be a great show. Yeah,
that's a good way to put it. Yeah, this is a great start. As predicted, you know, we knew these, you know, you give these guys any sort of amount of time, it's going to be some great stuff. And, you know, it was just really great. And I really thought they might go out there and snub them with the time, but I mean, they went out there and with, you know, 15 or so minutes they really put everything into that time period for what they could. If it would have been longer, it would have been fucking even better. But for what they did, like he said, you know, these guys just know each other. All those kind of guys that come from that kind of same mold just always have great chemistry, and they always know how to work the matches together because they know who they are and they know who their opponent is, and that's what these guys do. They just know what they're doing out there, and they just put on an outstanding matchup. I just swear and hope that this can continue. If they end up doing something into the future, they start, you know, getting rid of the weight limit rules, and they can somehow keep something going with the X Division title with these two, would be outstanding. But I think everybody in that arena wanted to see it keep going, so anybody in the back who wants to keep that kind of weight limit thing, you're just not listening to your fans, because you're not listening to what people cared about, because this was probably the hottest the crowd was basically the entire night, except for maybe one other match and one other little part. But I mean, they delivered really with what the amount of time they got, and this was an outstanding matchup. And Austin Aries retained off just a fucking disgusting brainbuster that about just smushed just Joe in half. Just Joe got a glimpse of what it's like to have a muscle buster to him, because he got just
like an accordion,
just a Samoan accordion, dude. Hashtag.
Samoan accordion.
Hashtag Samoan accordion. If that's not trending, we're mad. But Austin Aries getting the win in the X Division Championship matchup there. Both guys continue to look great. Austin Aries cut a promo later in the night saying how he's going to keep moving on, bigger and better things. He wants to just be running everything, which
the main event
we have absolutely no problem with, because he's a shit and he's going to keep delivering, and that's what he has done in this matchup here. And Joe as well, great stuff. Next matchup, we had Kid Kash versus Garett Bischoff.
I think that's wrong. It's Garett Bischoff versus Robbie E.
That's actually
wrong too.
That's not it.
Is Devon versus Robbie T?
Did Robbie E and Robbie T break up and they had a one-on-one match?
That might have happened.
Did that happen? You know, there was just there's about a 15-20 minute segment there where just our give a shit factor was at an all-time low.
Down here.
Just something happened.
It was kind of a blur. I ate a hot dog.
Yeah.
I cried a little.
Yep.
Played with my butthole.
Yeah.
Smelled my fingers.
I looked at my cat a couple times. He's on the ground. He's pretty kitty.
But I mean, other than that, 20 minutes in between that area.
We lost 20 minutes of our lives. That's crucial. Life is short, man. We can't lose that precious time.
You know, that was just...
But after that period of time that we don't really remember, we had a triple threat match, number one contenders for the World Heavyweight Championship between Jeff Hardy, Mr. Anderson, and Rob Van Dam. You know, the one thing I got out of it, I know he'll probably talk about it too, this one really just seemed kind of messy and sloppy. They were just kind of fumbling over each other, and just kind of some spots where they were just kind of just goofing around with a lot of stuff. They're just falling over, tripping over some shit. It just kind of looked like they were just all just having just not that great of a night, and it really just was kind of what it was when you throw these guys out there. And I thought this could have been a little bit better, you know, to the point that it was, but it was what it is, you know, with it was what it is. Does that even make sense?
I don't know.
It is what it was.
Were we in a blur on this?
Were we still in a partial blur?
I don't know.
We were in about a 65% blur. You know when like your headlights are kind of faded in a fog?
Yeah.
We were coming out of that.
We were coming out of the
We were
fog.
coming out of the tunnel on this one. And it was still foggy a little bit. But I did see enough to see that Mr. Anderson got the win, which didn't make that much sense to me. But the people in Dallas-Fort Worth loved the shit out of it. Because, I mean, they're hunters, fishermen. Yeah. They like...
Gumshoers.
You know, Zepco 33s. They love that shit.
Yeah. You know?
But Mr. Anderson gets a future title shot on this week's Impact.
Fantastic. Yeah, like you said, same thing, sloppy. It almost seemed like, you know, when you just watch just those rodeo clowns, just at the bull thing, you know, they're taunting the bulls. Yeah. So there wasn't any bulls. They were just getting hit by invisible bulls.
Hashtag invisible bulls.
Hashtag invisible bulls.
Trending on Twitter.
Yeah, they were sloppy as all hell in this. There was some really interesting, a couple cool double team type spots.
Yeah, that Hardy spot where he kind of collapsed the legs of the Hardy.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
There was a couple cool spots, but overall they kind of were tripping over each other's feet. They were kind of trying to find their spots. They were forgetting where they were at. I mean, but overall, I mean, it was okay. It wasn't terrible, like we said, just sloppy.
Yeah, indeed. Mr. Anderson getting the win in that number one contenders matchup. Next up, we had Crimson's Open Challenge.
Our undefeated hero.
We were waiting to see who our undefeated hero is going to be facing this Open Challenge. He was going to slaughter whoever it was.
Yeah, obviously.
He's undefeated, and he's a hero, so, I mean, he beats everyone.
Yeah.
Crimson came out. They waited. It ended up being the Cowboy James Storm. Interested to see that, obviously, James Storm out on his ranch talking to his daughter.
Yeah.
Daddy, you going to be going back to wrestling?
You going to wrestle?
You going to wrestle, Daddy? I don't know, sweetie. We're gonna mount up some horses, and I'll think Daddy will think about it.
You'll think.
He thought about it, and he came to Dallas-Fort Worth, and he got him some Crimson. Got it. What did we call him? Scorcher.
Yeah, Scorcher.
Scorcher.
We thought about
Scorcher.
Yeah, hashtag Scorcher. We thought about, you know, old WCW. Just what was it, Glacier?
Yeah, he's a red version of Glacier.
Scorcher.
He's Scorcher.
You know, if you like that,
that's what it is. James Storm took about, I don't know, maybe a minute to beat Crimson. Super kick.
Yeah.
Our undefeated hero is no longer undefeated. Was it 422 days he was undefeated?
470 plus.
I think, you know, Goldberg-esque right there, but it got cut off.
Yeah.
No longer our one defeated hero.
Once defeated hero
to be proper with English. Yeah. And James Storm coming back, hopefully to, all joking aside, hopefully to get back to the goddamn main event, because it's just ridiculous that, you know, this guy is just, every time he seems to get on that cosmical ankle injury or hold him back or do whatever the fuck they do with him. This is ridiculous. So he better be on his way back. But defeating Crimson here, and Crimson no longer our undefeated hero.
Yeah, once defeated. Yeah, like you said, Scorcher here, he gets beat pretty quickly. He was setting it up, you know.
Scorcher got scorched.
He did.
All right.
He felt the burn. You know, and what was it? We came up with the name for his was it Codebreaker that James Storm does?
Oh yeah, dude. What was it?
I called it putting the horse down.
Oh shit! Just was it like the stirrup breaker or something?
No, just the saddle breaker
or something.
Saddle breaker. I call it putting the horse down.
Putting the horse down.
Just I could see James Storm just doing that to a horse. Just gotta put you down, man.
That would be the greatest visual of all time. Just James Storm code breaking just a big steed.
But yeah, he gets the win here. James Storm going on to bigger, better things. Crimson, I guess, has to come up with a better gimmick. Scorcher. I mean, let us book. You know,
why not? Next up, we had the awaited TNA Hall of Fame announcement. We had Dixie Carter come out, call out the TNA roster. Led out by AJ and James Storm, which was great to see that. Everybody else, and then they announced that the first inductee into the TNA Hall of Fame was Sting. Stinger. I got a problem with that, you know? I got a problem with that. I'm not a Sting hater. We were talking back in the day. I was like 7, 8 years old. I fucking loved Sting. Loved that crow gimmick. It was the shit. Like I said in the preview, he needs to be treated differently. They treated him differently tonight by just going down and going to town on his cock.
Yeah,
just going to town on his cock tonight, because it was. If he would have won the title here, this is just inside IWR here. You guys would have known this. This would have been called TNA Slammiversary. Yeah. If he would have won the title here, because I just got the overall feel that TNA has the just asinine thought that they could make Sting feel like he's more a part of TNA than he was of WCW, or more significant in TNA than he was of WCW. We're gonna let him be in the Hall of Fame, have Hulk Hogan jizz all over himself, talking about him in promos, give him world title matches, almost damn near win the world title. It's like, to me, like I said, the only person outside of wrestling, which I thought would have made a lot of sense, at least outside of current wrestling right now, Jeff Jarrett, would have obviously made the most sense. And now you give it to a guy who's still currently wrestling, could have a damn, world title match next month. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Current wrestler you're going to give it to, there's nobody. It's a TNA Hall of Fame. Total Non-Stop Action. Started in 2002. There ain't nobody else that you give a current wrestler to besides AJ Styles. That's the only other current wrestler. But if it should have been Jeff Jarrett. Makes the most sense. But Sting is in the Hall of Fame now, first inductee.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really that upset with it, but it's the same thing, where it's just like, what, I don't know. It just, to me, came off really like forced, and it's almost just they're giving him all kinds of things so he'll stick around. Yeah. Because, obviously Hogan seems to think
because, they don't have the talent to carry into the future, because Hulk Hogan says, hopefully Sting can win that title night and carry us into the next 10 years.
Yeah, Sting is the top
Sting's
guy.
The top talent in the world today.
He's the top guy in all of wrestling right now.
Come on, people. I mean, Jesus.
But, it wasn't overall bad. They did a pretty good package with it, but, it is what it is, and I figured he would be going to the Hall of Fame, but I did not expect to see him go to the first one.
Next matchup, we had the Knockouts title on the line. Win champion Gail Kim went up against Brooke Tessmacher.
This didn't start bad. This will actually, it ended bad, It had some pretty interesting spots in the beginning, Gail doing some submission stuff. And then there was just a point towards, the end where Brooke seemed like she got, knocked out, like she didn't know what was going on. She botched, 4 moves in a row, and then, Gail Kim just pointed at her and laughed.
Fucking botched that.
Yeah, you messed up.
Does Gail Kim talk like that?
Nah.
Sounds like an evil pirate.
I can't do Gail Kim. Look at me.
He can't do impressions at all.
I can't do impressions.
They come off like gangster Europeans every time he cuts an
Australian people.
Australian.
But she did do that. She played it off well, haha, you messed up, you're hurt or whatever. She went for the finish, and then she messed up the neck breaker, and then she went for a roll up, and then Brooke won, and then cut a promo afterwards like she couldn't breathe.
Do you remember when I was in Extreme Expose with Kelly and Layla? No one thought I could wrestle.
Yeah.
Brooke beat my girl Gail, and that pisses me off. Easily predictable, because she had her shot last month, almost beat her, and now she gets it this month, and she beat her. So Brooke is the new Knockouts champion. Sucks. Thought Gail should have kept it, but whatever. We'll see what happens after that. Next matchup, we had Bully Ray versus Joseph Park. Goddamn. I mean, they started this. They were trying to do the whole Joseph Park didn't want to, fight Bully Ray, didn't want to do anything, which, as Ryan mentioned, which is spot on. It makes no fucking sense when, even if you're Joseph Park, obviously Abyss, you're still 6'5" or 9" or whatever the fuck he is, and it's like, it makes no fucking sense. But I'm just gonna cut to the end where they had the spot where they had the table out there, and Joseph Park went into the ring, and then seemingly 10 seconds later came out. We had Abyss come out. Came in there and choke slammed Bully Ray through the table. Went back under the ring, and then 7 seconds later, Joseph Park came back out, and I'm sure about the entire arena believe that was Abyss. But guess what, people? That's not fucking Abyss.
He had a really wide stance.
Yeah, and I believe never has been in the ring before.
He didn't look like. He was. It looked like he was.
You
trying
could
to
execute Abyss better.
It looked like he was.
If we had a hood right now, we'd do it.
It looked like he was trying to pick him up by his hair and choke slam him by his hair, not by his neck.
Just hair slam, dude.
It didn't come off believable whatsoever.
You made the mention. I believe Russo's back, right?
Russo may be back.
Is Russo back?
We could see just a
hashtag goddamn it.
Yeah, I mean, we could see just a bath salt zombie match next week on Impact. I mean, they are in Florida. Hashtag fucking read the news. But just saying, this match here, they played it like you said. Joseph Park did not know how to wrestle, did not know how to do anything. He got this little spurt where he thought he was Manny Pacquiao. And it turned into a fixed fight. Hashtag boxing, if you know what that is about.
Hashtag?
Just a lot of hashtags.
Dude, we're hashtagging.
Just hashtag. We don't even use
I would
Twitter.
go on to. I don't even know how to. I don't even know how to organize myself to get to Twitter.
Yeah, I don't even know how to use the internet.
I would spell it Twatter. I went to Google. I'd probably TWATTER, and I'd get some different stuff, which I'd enjoy more.
But yeah, Joseph Park wins here because of Fake Abyss winning or get choke slam here. Just Bully Ray, man, what the f are you doing, people? Come on now.
It's going to be great to continue a Fake Abyss helping out Joseph
now.
Park. It's going to be great stuff. Yeah, that was great. Next up, we had a great part. We had Hulk Hogan come out, and he introduced the Instant Classic, Christian Cage. Was that not just great? God, just let me say it again. The Instant Classic, Christian Cage. God, that is the most flowing name of all time.
Yeah, it's damn.
Throw some C's up.
It's damn tasty.
It's fucking outstanding, and fucking weird. To
It
see
was.
the Intercontinental Champion of WWE come over to TNA, talk great about TNA, to debut the number one TNA moment, which ended up being a Sting moment, by the way.
Absolutely.
Why we say Stingiversary again. But yeah, it was just weird. It just, having the whole trade-off thing that must have went down with Flair going to WWE Hall of Fame, Christian coming over to be on Slammiversary tonight. Weird as hell. Great to see Christian. Yeah.
It was a mixed reaction. The crowd there was some weird boos and there was some weird cheers and it was overall weird.
Yeah. Tidbit.
It was like when your stepdad hits you, like, and you're like, you're not my real dad,
You just beat his ass,
you're not my real dad,
No.
So.
Hey, boy, go take out the trash. Fuck you.
Yeah, no, dude.
You take out your own trash.
Yeah, take it out.
Take it out.
All right.
Yeah, but, Christian was out there, so that's
It was cool.
Fucking awesome, so yeah. Next matchup, we had the TNA Tag Titles on the line. When champion, the full name of Christopher Daniels and Kaz went up against Phenomenal AJ Styles and Kurt Angle.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have officially witnessed the best tag match of the year, at least in my opinion.
Me too.
Flat out through WWE, even through Ring of Honor. This was
God, yeah.
Ring of Honor's tag team division. It's another story right
exactly.
now. But yes, this tag match was exciting, great spots, total great story, and they did a good job throughout and kept me completely excited. From what happened previous in the show, was really hoping this would show up, and it did. Definitely took the spot for the best match of the night.
Yep.
I was really, really worried because I thought they maybe would play off this whole storyline with Dixie. They did and then it kind of didn't make sense because they played this whole thing up on Impact, and then they didn't make any mention of it whatsoever. They had Dixie come out earlier in the night and then just talk about some shit, and then Kaz and shit, and Daniels was out there, and we're like, everyone was out there, and like, I'm so happy everyone's associated with me, and like made zero mention of any of the storyline, like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But this match, just AJ did a shooting star press, just off to
Which was my love for
springboard.
AJ. He has a name for it somewhere, but I can't remember it. But
Springboard shooting star press to the outside of the ring to Daniels.
we couldn't fucking
Cyber.
remember the last since Unbreakable 05.
I can't
He's
either.
done it, but I think in that time period, I can't fucking remember. But we saw the spot where he slides under the guardrail, does the springboard. He did that inverted flying in, which I was like,
Another spot that was great was that
the double, the moonsault from Daniels.
the
into
BME, and then Daniels
release.
landed on his feet, and Angle
Yeah.
caught him and did a release German. It was pretty
That was
badass.
badass, yeah.
So overall, this was definitely the match to catch. This and the Joe Aries match, I would definitely say, are two of the better matches from TNA this year.
Yeah, this was fantastic. As you said, I fully agree with the best tag match of the year. It just like Aries and Joe, it's as predicted. Like we talked about throughout the entire night. When you put the guys in there that look like it's going to be a predictably great match, it's a great match. But everything else that has a possibility of maybe coming up and being pretty good never comes up and is pretty good. It's just always the shitty matches are shitty, the decent matches are decent, the great matches are great. It's like people backstage just start to realize that, you know what, these matches are great and people want to see, well, in the end, this is professional wrestling. I want to see great wrestling, so why don't we just see that the whole fucking time? Well, we won't. But yeah, We had the, I haven't figured out the tag team name for just God and Jesus, maybe?
Just the Prince of Phenomenal and just the King of just suplexes.
No, that's not it.
No?
That won't be it. Just the Olympic hero and the phenomenal one.
The Phenomenal 2.
The Phenomenal 2.
Nah.
That's terrible. We'll think of something because we're going to have to for the Jesusness that tag team is. But AJ Styles and Kurt Angle getting to win this match, new TNA Tag Champions off that springboard shooting star, and then the fucking ankle lock. Everybody's ripped Cass's ankle off, winning the titles there. It'd be really interesting to see just who could possibly face this team and beat them, because it won't look believable, probably whoever beats them, because they really don't have that great of a tag division right now, and this is basically all we got. So I really don't care if we see this every month, because, you know, why not? It'd be fucking fantastic. But AJ and Kurt Angle, your new TNA Tag Team Champions. Moving on now to the main event for the TNA World Championship. We had champion Bobby Roode going up against Sting.
Yeah, they had this little package where they kind of took some poppy WWE music from it.
They were stealing some WrestleMania themes.
They were stealing some WrestleMania.
WWE's like, God damn it, that was a WrestleMania fucking.
That was their
song
next year.
Shit.
Just pop themed.
Yeah. Going to some fucking gangster rapping in the chorus. Yeah, dude.
It was pretty intense. They did this little package. It wasn't bad, but they set it up pretty interesting. The way they had the whole thing set up, they really set it up like Sting was going to win, going to the fantastic climax of what we thought was going to happen. At least we were thinking was going to happen. We were hoping didn't happen, but it comes off here with a decent match. Where basically Roode, I mean, I just can't, I don't know. He's you know, one of the most dominant champions they've ever had, the longest reigning champion, but so one time, just eventually they just need to give this guy just a legitimate win. Like, he just has always just won by just cheating. But, I mean, he wins here. I'm glad to see that happen. Storm's back. We're going to actually see some...
They teased it with the bottles and everything.
Yeah, so. We're gonna see some stuff. Possibly, hopefully, we get to lean towards that.
Jesus.
But and some other guys who are not 45 years old.
Hall of Famers though.
Hall of Famer,
Hall
yeah,
of Famers,
yeah,
so.
Hall of Famers. But like I said, just decent here. Roode wins, and we go off there with an interesting little.
Oh yeah.
Just Sting does a suplex, then a thing off the ramp to a table, Scorpion Death Drop,
falling backwards,
and just looked like he someone just threw a baseball and just hit Sting in the face.
Yeah, that's basically what happened. Yeah, this was as I thought it was, just a match. It was okay, all right. People want to call it pretty good, whatever. Whatever you want to do, I really don't care. It wasn't anything special, what you should have in your 10th anniversary main event, but you didn't. You had Sting go out there and put on basically what we're always going to see from now on with Sting. But like you said, the biggest thing that pisses me off about it is just with the gimmick and everything I'm doing with Bobby Roode, he's never going to get a legitimate clean win over anybody significant. And he's only, I don't know how fucking old Sting is, 40-5 or some shit. He can't beat in the prime of his career. A guy, it's seemingly in the last couple years in all of professional wrestling, there's just no heels with legitimate wins unless you're 5,000 pounds or, you know, fucking 9 feet tall, your name's Ryback. I don't really know. One of those three combinations. And you just have just funny little haikus you say at the end of your... We got to stop talking about Ryback because that's what I was going towards. Yeah, I mean, just legitimize that. That's what we need. I mean, it's not that hard to do, people, and it's not going to scare everybody away. Oh my God, Bobby Roode beat Sting clean. Holy shit, no one would believe that, but we're not going to believe it because it ain't going to happen. Bobby Roode, still your TNA World Champion. Like we said, hopefully we get something with James Storm and Bobby Roode going in the future because that's what we want, that's what should happen, and it's what we need right now. But this one I'll wrap up. Our 2012 TNA Slammiversary review. For my partner Ryan, I'm your host J-Man, and thank you for watching another edition of the Instant Wrestling Report, your source for wrestling news, information, opinions, and salute.